Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's start the problem number 3. The accounts of Z Manufacturing Company Limited for the year ended 31st March 2012 show the following. Drawing office salary rupees 6,500. This item we have to take under the head factory overhead. Salary paid to the workers who are engaged in drawing the production chart or the drawing the production plan. So this drawing office salary we have to take under the head factory overhead. Don't get confused by this word office. Drawing office salary means we have to take under the administrative overhead. No, drawing office salary we have to take under the head factory overhead because the salary paid to the workers who are engaged in preparing the production plan or production chart. So this one we have to take under the head factory overhead. Next is counting house salary. So counting house salary we have to take under the head administrative overhead and the amount is 12,600. Counting house salary means counting house is the office where all the financial books, all the accounting books are kept. So counting house salary we have to take under the head administrative overhead. Carriage outward. So whatever the carriage paid for selling the goods or for distributing the goods to the customer. So carriage outward we have to take under the head selling and distribution overhead. That is 4,300. Carriage inward is related to purchase of raw material and carriage outward is related to selling and distribution of products or goods. So carriage outward you have to take under the head selling and distribution overhead. Carriage on purchase, that is carriage inward. Carriage on purchase means carriage inward. So carriage inward, what you have to do? You have to add to the opening stock of raw material. Bad debts. Bad debts is to be taken under the head selling and distribution overhead. Repairs of plant. Plant is used for producing the goods in the production area. So repairs of plant where you take under factory overhead because plants are used in factory, that is conversion of raw material into finished product. The next is rent, rates and insurance for factories rupees 8,500. Clearly they have mentioned factory, so this 8,500 rent and rates insurance amount we have to take under the head factory overhead. Next is same item, rent, rates and insurance for office. So this 2,000 amount we have to take under the head administrative overhead or office overhead. Sales amount is 4,61,100. This one we have to take last. The sales amount will help us to calculate the profit. Next is stock of raw materials. So on 31st March 2011, stock of raw material amount is 62,800. So this is the opening stock of raw material. Opening stock of raw material amount is 62,800. Next is 31st March 2012. So this is the closing stock of raw material and the amount is 48,000. Opening stock of raw material you have to take first. To that you have to add purchases, any expenses related to purchase of raw material. And after that you have to less closing stock of raw material amount, that is 48,000. And the final amount what you will get, that is called material consumed. Next is material purchased, that is 1,85,000. This amount you have to add to the opening stock of raw material. Traveling expenses is 2,100 and traveler's commission is 7,700. So this traveling expenses or the traveling commission we have to take under the head selling and distribution overhead because the salesperson or the salesman travels from one place to another place to sell the product. So this selling expenses, So this traveling expenses and the traveler's commission we have to take under the head selling and distribution overhead. Productive wages. Productive wages is also called as direct wages. This one we have to take before prime cost and the amount is 1,26,000. Next one is depreciation. On plant, depreciation amount is 6,500. So on plant, depreciation on plant where you will take under factory overhead because plants are used in factory. On furniture, rupees 300. Furnitures are used in office. So this depreciation on furniture amount rupees 300 will take under the head administrative overhead. Okay, on plant will take under factory overhead and on furniture will take on administrative under the head administrative overhead. Director fees, administrative overhead. Gas and water for factory 1200. So clearly they have mentioned factory, so we'll take under the head factory overhead. And the same item, gas and water for office, will take under the head administrative overhead. Manager salary. So total manager salary amount is 10,000. Okay, total manager salary is 10,000. But three-fourth of this 10,000 we have to take under the factory overhead because this manager is working on both the departments, that is factory and office. So this 10,000, three-fourth of 10,000 we have to take under factory and one-fourth of 10,000 we have to take under the head office overhead. Clear? Next, general expenses 3,400 will take under administrative overhead. The next item is income tax rupees 500, dividend 1,000, debenture interest is rupees 2,000, preliminary expenses is rupees 1,000. All these items are non-cost item. Income tax, dividend, debenture interest, preliminary expenses, all these are non-cost item. And these items we should not record in cost sheet because these are purely financial items. Financial items we should not record in cost sheet. So we have to leave all these items, EL items, income tax, dividend, debenture interest, preliminary expense ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು because these all are non-cost items or you can say these are financial items. So we should not take in cost sheet. Clear this problem? Let's prepare the cost sheet for the year ended 31st March 2012. Write the heading Cost sheet for the year ended 31st March 2012 and the columns are particulars, amount, amount. First, what we have to take? Opening stock of raw material. So write here opening stock of raw material. So opening stock of raw material is how much? See in the problem, stock of raw material on 31st March 2011, the amount is 62,800. This is the opening stock of raw material. Write in inner column 62,800. To this opening stock of raw material, what we have to do? We have to add purchases and carriage on purchase. So in this problem, they have given carriage on purchase. That is carriage in word we have to add. Right? Add purchases. See here, material purchased is rupees 1,85,000. So this is the raw material purchase. Amount is 1,85,000. Right here, 1,85,000. Next is carriage on purchase. See the fourth item. See the problem. Carriage on purchase or sometimes they will mention carriage inward. That one we have to take after purchases. Carriage on purchases amount 7,150. 7,150, right in inner column. Now add these three amounts. 62,800 plus 1,85,000 plus 7,150. And the total, right in inner column, 2,54,950. So after adding purchases and any expenses related to purchase of raw material, what we have to do? We have to minus closing stock of raw material amount. Right here, less closing stock of raw material. Closing stock of raw material, that is on 31st March 2012, amount is 48,000. This one we have to minus. Right here, 48,000. From 2,54,950 minus 48,000. Okay, closing stock of raw material we have to minus. And the final amount is 2,06,950. Writing out of the column, last amount column ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀರಿ. 2,06,950. And this is called material consumed. So the material consumed amount during this period is 2,06,950. So after material consumed, we have to take direct expenses, direct wages, direct labor, or productive wages or productive labor. So in this problem, they have mentioned productive wages. So productive wages amount is 1,26,000. Productive wages means direct wages. Right here, productive wages, and write in amount right out of column 1,26,000. All the direct expenses, direct wages, direct labor you have to take before prime cost. Add these two amounts. 2,06,950 plus 1,26,000, and the total is 3,32,950. The total of raw material consumed and direct expenses is called prime cost. So this to 3,32,950, right? Prime cost. After prime cost, we have to take factory overhead. Add factory overhead. So under this factory overhead, what we have to take? Any expenses or any charges related to factory that we have to record under the head factory overhead. So already we have seen the items which one we have to take under the factory overhead. So the first item, drawing office salary, we have to take under the head factory overhead. So right here under factory overhead, drawing office salary, and the amount is 6,500. See in the problem, next one is repairs of plant, rupees 4,450. Right here in inner column, 4,450. Rent, rates and insurance. Okay, rent and rates and insurance amount is 8,500. Right here, rent and rates and insurance amount is 8,500. Depreciation on plant. Depreciation on plant amount is 6,500. Next item is gas water. See here in problem, gas water in for factory amount is 1,200. Manager salary. So total manager salary amount is 10,000. Correct? And 3/4 of this 10,000 we have to take under factory overhead. So right here in solution, manager salary in bracket. So total manager salary ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ 10,000. Okay, full 10,000 ನಾವು factory overhead ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. Only 3/4 of 10,000 we have to take under factory overhead as manager salary. So 10,000 into 3/4 ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. 10,000 into 3/4, you will get 7,500. Okay, 7,500 manager salaries we have to take under factory overhead. For all of you, 10,000 ನ 3/4 ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ 7,500. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು as manager salary. So all the factory items are over. That is drawing office salary, repairs of plant, rent rates and insurance, depreciation on plant, gas and water, and manager salary. Now add all these amounts. 6,500 plus 4,450 plus 8,500 plus 6,500 plus 1,200 plus 7,500. And the total is 34,650. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಔಟರ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 34,650. ನಾವು ಆಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಈಗಷ್ಟೇ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ 3,32,950 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 34,650 and the total is 3,67,600. This is called works cost. So in problem only there is no work in progress amount. There is no opening work in progress and closing work in progress. So directly we'll write works cost amount is 3,67,600. So after work cost we have to write add administrative overhead or office overhead. So any overhead or expenses related to office work or administrative department we have to take under this head. So ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟಿವ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. See the second item. Counting house salary rupees 12,600. This one we have to take under office overhead. So right here, counting house salary amount is 12,600. Rent rates and insurance. Rent rates and insurance office amount is 2,000. So right here, rent and rates amount 2,000. Next is depreciation on furniture. Depreciation on furniture amount 300. Depreciation on furniture 300 will take under administrative overhead. Next is director fees. Director fees amount 6,000. Write all the amounts in inner column. Next, gas water for office. And the amount is 400. Manager salary. So manager salary total 10,000 ittu. ಅದರದ್ದು 3/4 7,500 ನಾವು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಉಳಿದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ and the amount is total manager amount is 10,000 salary amount. So ಈ 10,000 ಇನ 1/4 ನಾವು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ into 1/4. Calculate this. 10,000 into 1/4, you will get 2,500. ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ 3/4 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು 7,500 ಹೌದಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ 7,500. ಸೊ 1/4 ನಾವು ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ 1/4 of 10,000 will be 2,500. So total ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು 10,000 correct. 7,500 plus 2,500 total is 10,000. 3/4 of 10,000 is 7,500. We have to take under factory that we have taken. And next, manager salary 10,000. 1/4 of 10,000 is 2,500, which we have to take under the head administrative overhead. Next, general expenses. So right here, general expenses and the amount is 3,400. So all the administrative items are over. Now add all these expenses amount. 12,600, 2,300, 6,400, 2,500, and 3,400. Add these amount and you will get total 27,200. So 27,200 is the total administrative overhead amount. Now add this works cost amount and administrative overhead amount. 3,67,600 plus 27,200 and the total is 3,94,800. This is called cost of production. Here also they have not given the opening stock of finished goods and closing stock of finished goods. So directly after cost of production, we'll take selling and distribution overhead. Right here, add selling and distribution overhead. Any expenses made for selling and distributing the goods to the customer. That all things we have to take under the head selling and distribution overhead. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಎಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಓವರ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಔಟ್ವರ್ಡ್. Carriage outward amount is 4,300. We have to take under selling and distribution overhead. So right here carriage outward and the amount is 4,300. Next is bad debts. Bad debts amount is 6,500. Next is travelers expenses and travelers commission. Both items, both the items we have to take under the head selling and distribution overhead. So right here traveling expenses is 2,100 and travelers commission is 7,700. Okay, four items. Add these amount 4,300 plus 6,500 plus 2,100 plus 7,700 and the total is 20,600. The total of these four items is 20,600. Add this 20,600 to cost of production amount. Add these two items 3,94,800 plus 20,600 and the total is 4,15,400. This is called total cost or cost of sales. Total costs are very good. Cost of sales. That is 4,15,400. So in every problem, either they have to give information related to profit or sales. So in this problem, they have given information related to sales. So sales estimate here. Sales is, got all of you, sales is 4,61,600. After rent and rates, there is a sales item. Sales is 4,61,100. So right here, sales 4,61,100. To get the profit amount, what we have to do? From this 4,61,100 minus 4,15,400. Okay, profit amount ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ 4,61,100 ಇಂದ 4,15,400 amount ಅನ್ನ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ and the difference amount is 45,700. This is called profit. Balancing figure. Profit is 45,700. So after preparing the call sheet, you can prepare a special note for this Non-cost item. So ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ನೋಟನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. That is income tax, dividend, debenture interest, preliminary expenses. All these are non-cost items. So we should not include these items in cost sheet. Okay, one ನೋಟನ್ನು prepare ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. In my next video, we'll solve one more problem on this topic. Thank you, friends.